Imagine your entire network going dark in an instant. This isn't a nightmare. It's a reality that could have happened due to vulnerabilities in Microsoft Azure Private 5G Core. In this video, they uncovered two critical vulnerabilities that were lurking in Microsoft Azure Private 5G Core, both of which have now been resolved. First, let's dive into 2024 Cape Verde Escudos 20685, a vulnerability that could lead to potential service outages. Next, we have ZDI CAN 23960, which could disrupt network operations and cause significant downtime. Both vulnerabilities could result in varying degrees of denial of service, DOS, affecting not just one device but potentially an entire network segment. Packet cores are the backbone of cellular networks, making these vulnerabilities particularly dangerous. Our research focuses on systemic issues and attack vectors in cellular packet cores, rather than just individual vulnerabilities. We discovered that a crafted signaling message could crash the control plane of a P5GC. Another crafted signaling message could disconnect and replace attached base stations. These issues stem from a systemic weakness: the lack of mandatory authentication procedures between base stations and packet cores. Microsoft has fixed 2024 Cape Verde Escudos 20685 in a P5GC version 2403.02. But ZDI CAN 23960 is still pending a fix. We owe a debt of gratitude to Dr. Shuman Chuang of Telecom Technology Center, Taiwan, for her guidance during this research. Let's take a closer look at the architecture of cellular networks to understand the impact of these vulnerabilities. Cellular devices connect to a radio base station via RF signals, which are then converted into IP packets. These base stations are connected to a central infrastructure unit called the packet core over IP links. The control plane handles signaling between user equipment and the packet core, while the data plane deals with user application traffic. The connection between the base station and packet core reflects this division, with control plane traffic running over SCTP and user plane traffic over UDP. The Next Generation Application Protocol, NGAP, defines network messages for various signaling procedures in the 5G control plane. In 5G terminology, base stations are called GNBs, and the control plane node is called the Access and Mobility Management Function, AMF. An SCTP connection is established between the base station and packet core to carry NGAP messages. The base station starts a control connection setup with 5G core by sending an NG setup request. Upon receiving this message, the 5GC validates the parameters and sends an NG setup response. Authentication is not mandatory in this step, which is a critical oversight. AUE may establish an RF link with the base station and send a registration request, which is processed by the packet core without authentication. The vulnerabilities we discovered are triggered within the first 3 NGAP messages, before authentication and encryption are set up. Microsoft Azure Private 5G Core is designed for private networks, with packet processing running on Azure Stack Edge hardware. No authentication is necessary between the base station and a P5GC in the default setting, a significant security flaw. To exploit these vulnerabilities, an attacker needs connectivity to the gateway and knowledge of the PLMN and slice service type. By sending a crafted malformed UE registration message, an attacker can cause a denial of service in a P5GC. An arbitrary NG setup request sent to a P5GC can eject a legitimate base station from the network, replacing it with a malicious one. Both attacks result in varying degrees of denial of service, potentially disrupting a broader network segment. Stay vigilant and secure your networks. For more insights, subscribe to our channel and stay ahead of the curve.